So what I wanted to share with you today is all about connection and how it really can increase your internal happiness, or self-generated happiness, as I refer to it when I'm sort of writing about it on paper. So much of the happiness that we get is as a result of somebody else or something else. It's our job or money or a partner that makes us happy. And I tend to think of that as just like borrowed happiness, really. So I just thought connection is one of my favourite ways of tapping into happiness that's just yours, nobody else's, and nobody can touch it. So my favourite different areas of connecting would be starting with yourself, obviously, and kind of your human self with all your weirdness and problems and challenges and everything, just connecting with you on that level. That helps you to get a little bit of a reality check at times. Even doing that kind of, I think I've sort of mentioned this to clients in coaching sessions before, that when you feel all over the place, it's good to just stop and ask yourself, how am I right now? Because even just that will allow you to just feel into yourself and connect with how you're doing, what you're feeling, maybe what you're worried about. So then moving on from your human self with all the stuff to your higher self. Connecting with your higher self, your spirituality can sometimes be really difficult, but I believe it gets easier and easier, and the way that we do it is often quite different to everybody else. When you connect with your higher self, your spiritual side, the Queen, as I've mentioned recently to a couple of my lovely ladies, she knows the truth. She knows everything. She knows what's right. She knows what's wrong. She knows when you're about to screw something up. She knows exactly what you need. So connecting with her on this higher level is beautiful. And I honestly think that before we connect with anybody else, anything else, if we can connect with ourself, our human self, and our higher self first, from there we can get the right messages. If we say, for example, if you're kind of feeling damaged and out of sorts and everything, and you connect with somebody who's a potential partner for you, then what you're going to connect with may be off kilter, because if you then get back into balance and connect with yourself on a deeper level, connect with your higher self, this connection that you made when you were out of that space may be just super weird and not feel comfortable. So I think before you make connections, or even when you have made them, and then tap into how you're feeling, not just about yourself, about how these connections feel, just to make sure that they always feel good for you. Often we can make a connection with somebody else that feels really great and we're excited about it, and it feels amazing and exciting, and then maybe something happens and we just let it go, and something else happens and we just let it go. So this human self is just doing all the making excuses. It taps into your negative self-beliefs and, repeating patterns from damage in the past, all of that kind of thing. But it's only when you step into your higher self and just face the truth of who you really are and what you deserve. You know, my God, we're all so worthy of being treated with love and care and respect. But also, we have to be open to receive that. Because if we're still stuck in a place where things just feel weird and a bit yuck, is that what we're telling the universe that we're wanting to attract in and that's acceptable to us? So these are some other things. So obviously trying to connect from that really true self place of yours. Furry friends, I actually put other people and then I squeezed in furry friends at the top. So there is something beautiful, and the connection is so amazing and vibrant and just heart-centered, really, when you connect with a furry friend. I know some people will think I'm wet, but I don't care. Yeah, so like connecting with my cat, Spidey, God bless him. You know, yes, he's got anxiety and stuff like that, so sometimes he demands a cuddle and then I give him cuddles and he bites me. But that connection with him, I can honestly say I adore him, and I tell him he's not at all interested, and he's never told me he loves or adores me, but he does let me stroke him. And I think, excuse me, there's certain animals, you know, like horses who, you know, they're very spiritual beings, aren't they? And I can see the pussycat. Ah, thank you, Becky. Yeah, I think with horses, they're often used for helping people to heal from past traumas and, you know, build self-belief and confidence and that kind of mindset and belief. So it could even be, if you haven't got a pet of your own, you could go out and, you know, I don't know with the coronavirus as it is right now, but there are probably shelters who are looking for people to give some love to their inmates. There's possibly even cat or dog sitting or gerbil sitting. I can't imagine having a connection with a gerbil, but who knows? So that's something that can create that real sense of connection for you, and definitely it feels on a deeper level. And even as any of us who've got cats and dogs know, that you can just sit and stroke a dog or a cat and you're very aware of how relaxed it makes you feel. So that's great. Okay, so other people. Connecting with other people, and I'll talk about different levels in a moment, is, you know, obviously other people are not like pussycats and doggies, are they? Let's be fair. But they can give us such a huge, powerful connection on whatever level that sometimes we can take leave of our senses completely. And it can add so much beauty and value to our life. But we've also got to be very careful that we are still honouring ourselves and being in that place of the happiness that you're creating is yours and nobody can take it away from you. Because if you pin all of your happiness on somebody else and that person is no longer in your life, like what happens? What happens to all that happiness? So, there's different ways I have experienced connection. Friendship, obviously, and there is nothing like the connection of a good friend, one who knows you and all your weirdness and actually still likes you. Like, that's a bonus, really. I think there is such, when you can trust somebody who's got your back and you can share things with them that you wouldn't share with anybody else, you know, that's quite beautiful. And obviously it's got to be a two-way thing. You've got to make sure that they still feel connected with you. I've had a real buzzy connection a couple of times on an intellectual level. So not necessarily with a friend, but sometimes it will have been just a conversation where like somebody gets you and then elevates those ideas or that conversation. And oh, like it's like having a head full of chocolate and kittens' tummies is amazing. That's happened to me a few times, and it's like I want to bottle that moment. It's just beautiful. Then you've got people who have a shared experience. So when you connect with somebody who has been through something that you've been through, and their perception of it and the effect of that experience is the same as yours, that kind of connection can be equally beautiful and supportive. Again, that's something you need to be a little bit aware of, that you're not diving in and rescuing somebody. But that shared experience can make you feel understood and accepted and not alone. Because I think sometimes when we suffer like really crappy experiences in life, we can feel like we're the only one going through it. Another one is a shared interest. So, you know, if there was a Facebook group that was all about kittens and pussycats and kittens' tummies and cake, chocolate cake obviously, I would be in that group every day, probably all day, just scrolling. So, sorry, that's rather random. Yeah, so if there's somebody who shares your similar interests, so like when you look at a Facebook group, generally, sorry, I keep thinking about that group now. When you are with people who have a similar interest, you know, quite often you share other things, maybe other values and beliefs, and that can be a really beautiful connection to make. Reality, connecting to reality. I don't want to bring you down because all the others sounded quite interesting and useful. But connecting with reality, particularly if you're prone to flights of fancy and, you know, you just go with how things feel, connecting with reality as it is, as it's going to be potentially if you make certain decisions, that will help you to assess and balance what feels right and what makes sense. What you have to be aware of when you're connecting with the reality of situations, the reality of how you're feeling, etc., to make sure that you don't taint that connection with negative self-beliefs or mindsets or, you know, screwed up perceptions or anything like that. It needs to be reality as it is as you see it, and not through all of these, imagine putting a pair of glasses on that's like, you know, I'm no good, or I could be better, or other people would be better than me. So if you connect on that level, then it's going to be really helpful for you. So a really beautiful one, and obviously this is, you know, along the line of furry friends and everything, but also it's about connecting with nature. So for me, I hate, and I know that's a strong word, but I hate all that sweaty, humid weather we had not that long ago, and all of the fans I had draining the electricity around the county. So when the autumn arrives with its fresh air and you can smell the earth, and then, you know, like this time of year where the leaves are turning here in the UK, it's just beautiful. I love it. So what could you do that would help you to really connect with nature, even if it means you're going to go and hug a tree or something. I mean, by all means, go hug a tree, ideally not one in somebody else's property. Nature is just so vast. I get a lot of pleasure out of looking at the sky, and that kind of connection is super helpful. Then we've got the wider world and the universe. So whether you do that on a spiritual level or whether you do it, Sarah, as I know you're very eco-conscious and you're very aware of what we do and the choices that we make, of how they affect the world. It could be that you almost open the door to new information, new countries, new people, whatever. But that kind of connection, when we're so very much used to just us, aren't we, and thinking about my ex-husband used to say, if somebody was talking about themselves a lot, he used to call it they had eye trouble, because every sentence started with I, and I'm aware of that. I think we are very used to being sort of quite inward looking, and then when we look at the world around us and see what's going on, it gives us such perspective. But it also helps us to feel connected with other people, with other countries and the struggles. And, you know, I could go on for hours, but I think it's good for us. So however you connect, make sure it's from a really authentic, honest place, so that the connection you make is good for you. So, girls, have you got any questions before I show you the card that I pulled earlier and then pull one for you? Is there anywhere, any particular type of connection that you need to really focus on right now? Sarah, all your earthly things. Any suggestions? Oh, okay. Oh, that's good. A lovely reminder. That's really good, Becky. Thank you. Your spiritual connection, Sarah. Yes. And I think I know that you're very good at, you know, having a list of things that you want and need to do, because you have such a fantastic view of what's good for you. And particularly, like we chatted recently, didn't we, about, you know, putting things into different categories almost to make sure that we boost our happiness and fulfillment in different areas. But I think if you are that way inclined, a spiritual connection that you nurture and grow serves you really well. And particularly with situations like we've had this year, which can be so unsettling and shocking for us. It's, you know, I think a spiritual connection that you are nurturing is going to be a really good buffer. You know, it's not going to blind you against what's going on, but it's going to help you deal with it. That's what I think anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you, I will pull a card for you girls, but I want to share with you, when I picked the box up and I thought, oh, I wonder if this would be useful, and I put my hand in and I just pulled a card out of the middle, and I don't know if the writing will be backwards. Oh yeah, I think it is. So what it says is, I am connected to all of life. Like, what? So on the back it says, I am spirit, light, energy, vibration, colour and love. I am connected with every person on the planet and with all of life. Like, I have no idea how that came out, but that's, I love that. I just love that. And it's true. I'm going to read that again. I am spirit, light, energy, vibration, colour and love. I am connected with every person on the planet and with all of life. Okay, so I'm going to dig in and it is Sarah, isn't it? Oh, I just had one. That's weird. One flipped out upside down. So I'm going to put that to one. Oh, actually, I want to. Oh, hi, Maria. It's okay. You can watch the replay, my lovely. I've been talking about connection and how it can make you happy. And I covered, you'll watch the replay, but basically it was like connecting with yourself. Would you write that in the comments? Yes, my lovely, I will do. I'll put that to one side and I'll put it in the comments for you. I'll take a photo of it as well, if I can manage that. Yeah, so Maria, I've been focusing on tips for connecting with yourself, like your human self with all the yucky stuff that goes on, your higher self, your spirituality, furry friends, other people from a friendship, intellectual, shared experience and shared interests level, reality and the world and the universe. And what I randomly decided to do was pull one of the Louise Hay Heart Thoughts cards. And I pulled one. If you watch the replay, there's the description of what's on the back. But it said, I am connected to all of life. And I did that before I even started. So I'm very happy about that. So the card that just literally fell out, so obviously that wanted to be picked. So I think, again, it's going to be back to front. Maybe, I don't know. I am in harmony with nature. So I just talked about how, being in nature can really help us to connect and everything. And on the back of this one, it says, I am in harmony with all of life. The sun, the moon, the winds, the rain, the earth. That's so beautiful. Like, and how, that's so, well, that was meant to be, wasn't it? Like the two cards, one that I pulled and one that fell out. I am in harmony with all of life, the sun, the moon, the winds, the rain, the earth. And actually, isn't that something that we would really benefit from feeling, that we are in harmony with everybody and everything on this planet? That's a beautiful connection to nurture. So, ladies, I'm going to sign off. Thank you, Sarah. That is awesome, isn't it? I love it. Do you know, I bought those quite a while ago and I knew they were for a reason, but I knew the reason hadn't arrived, and then today there it was. And Becky says, so funny, it really resonated when you were talking about nature earlier. Yeah, it's lovely. Oh, I love those emojis. Maria, you are so welcome. And thank you so much for joining us. It's lovely to have you here. So, ladies, I will I'll put photos of the cards and the writing from the back. I'll type that in there. And if anybody's got something that they would like me to work on, teach you in a live or something, let me know. I'm opening up a couple of spaces to work with me one-to-one. And also I've got the wait list growing for anybody who's interested in my 12-week group program. So if you're interested, just drop an emoji or something down below and put whether one-to-one or wait list me, and then I'll DM you any details. So I hope you have an amazing rest of the week, and lots of love to you, and I look forward to catching up with you soon. Bye.